Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Intelligence Check. We have a last minute guest who showed up. He's like, guys, I'm awake. We can do this. I'm like, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Grim. Welcome to the episode. I'm joined by my host, Conrad, and of course, our guest, who is no stranger to the show, DM Steve. What's up, guys?
Ooh, what's up?
Hello.
So, just as a reminder for everyone in chat, remember we are looking at chat. So if you have questions related to or not, feel free to ask them. We're more than welcome to answer any questions. So today's episode is covering the Druid, who is without question one of the most powerful classes in the game, depending on how you build them.
Best class.
I mean,
Personal favorite.
yeah, Druids are pretty awesome. They're pretty cool. As a DM, I hate them. As a player, I love them.
Yeah, that's my feeling as well.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse. Okay, we'll get to it. So, just to right at the gate, let's get some first impressions. Like, okay, like when you guys were first introduced to the Druid class, what did you guys think?
It's a
I
good
mean,
question.
Yeah, good question. I personally loved it because and have like I played only one so far, and I don't know, it's just amazing to be able to transform. Wild shape is just a beautiful mechanic. That's all I can say.
When I first started, I started playing a wizard because I didn't know druids existed. And then when I found out druids existed, I was like, oh, sweet, I get to play a hippie with magic powers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
far off. Yeah.
yeah.
100%. So, as Steve aptly mentioned, best class, and I'm inclined to agree. I don't think Con will also disagree with that because he loves the Druids as well.
Oh, I love the druids. For me, it's clerics and druids.
Yeah.
All day.
So, like you mentioned with the cleric in the previous episode, this episode, once again, Druids are also a full spellcaster, and they use wisdom for their spellcasting. So, if you're looking to be, doing damage with some spells, focus your wisdom. That would be your primary spellcasting stat. Just like the cleric before us, we are going to go through the entire base class first. And then we'll come to the subclasses, of which there are only 2 in the player's handbook, which I was surprised by. I thought there were more. But the 2 that are available are super chunky, and in fact, Wild Shape is going to take a chunk of what we're going to talk about. So, let's begin right at the gate at level 1. Alright? So, Druids out the gate, you know the language Druidic, which only you and other Druids or other creatures familiar with the Druidic language can speak. I do not know how to... What's what I'm looking for? How to define it as a language per se? Like, Steve, how would you define Druidic?
If you're wanting a good deep dive on it, there's a YouTube channel called Monarch's Factory by a chick named Dale Kingsmill. She actually has a whole video where she goes into the language, or how she approaches the language of Druidic, which I highly recommend.
Okay.
It's treated similarly by a lot of people to Thieves' Camp with Rogues, which is just a language for specific classes or the specific group of people within your world. And I think that in itself is neat. Specifically with the specifics of the Druidic, you know the language, it's a secret language, and you can leave hidden messages with the language, which as a Druid you can flavor pretty much any way you want. I've used it in the past as both a player and a DM, as you whistle a song on the wind and you send a message that way, or you use leaves or some part of nature to create a language or create a specific message for other druids.
Right.
Notably, other creatures can spot the language with the perception check, but they can't necessarily decipher it without magic unless they speak the language.
Yeah, no, so if you have a side quest or a quest for some NPCs that the players need to go find, who are a bunch of druids, they've probably left markers all over the place for people to find them, and only someone who speaks druidic can find them.
Yeah, like
So
you
it
leave a
could be-
message of
yeah.
danger ahead if there is a group that is antithetical to druids, or a specific type of beast is in this area.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is great.
It's got some great roleplay stuff that you can do with it. It's quite fun.
Yeah. Even mechanically, there are some benefits to it. Mainly, that's one thing you want to definitely talk to your DM about, is how to incorporate that if you want to make that part of your character. I've never had any of my druid players, I guess I've really only had the one, but I've never had any of them really too interested in it, so I haven't used it too much. But as a player, I love it. I just love saying, like, I'm going to leave a message here for any other druids that might come across this. And it also can work as a way of, marking your path if you're going through a dungeon.
Yeah. You want to get lost?
Yeah.
Put on a marker.
Yeah, I remember doing that in Curse of Strahd.
Yeah. I remember
That was, yeah.
Because they got lost somewhere, or they were in the forest somewhere, where like, do not go here, danger. kind of stuff, or werewolves were here, or bad stuff.
I was marking shit most of the time.
I mean, and part of me was like, "Fuck! I can't use that in a meaningful way." But it's like I'm saying, this is always the double-edged sword when it comes to playing a module. Like, but in a homebrew campaign, something like Steve runs, that's something totally feasible that he could in fact incorporate that into a storyline somewhere down the line. While in a module, it's a little more difficult to shoehorn that in, unfortunately. But that's good stuff. It's good fun. It's good fun. I guess it allows for a lot of imagination and ideas and role play, which is great. More of that, do better.
Exactly.
Then we can again. This is all first level stuff. Then we get to spell casting. Now, like the clerics and the artificers, you get access to your entire spell list to you for every spell level that you know. So at level 1, you have access to every single level 1 druid spell. And some of their spells are ridiculous.
Oh yeah, the druids I think have really cool spells.
Yeah,
like so they get access to some really cool spells.
And also, like, for those of you who are not familiar with druids, if you're looking for inspiration, look at the Hobbit for Radagast the Brown. If anything, he is the quintessential druid.
Yeah.
But basically, their magic is of nature. It's all nature magic, which is super cool. And you get to pick 2 cantrips of your choice. Chances you're going either Thorn Whip or Shillelagh and what do you call it? Shit, what was it called again? The melee one?
Primal Savagery.
Primal Savagery, thank you.
Yeah.
Or
Primal Savagery is pretty brutal.
It's
as
pretty
a
good.
cantrip, honestly. Yeah.
Pretty good. Although acid damage.
It's acid. Yeah, acid.
Acid damage sometimes is. I mean, it's a commonly resisted type. But poison, of course, is the most commonly resisted. Acid kind of comes close. But those are usually what you're picking up. But again, depends on what circle you're planning. By the way, druid circles are your subclasses. Depending on what you're going to choose, depending on what you choose to go into, will have a pretty big impact on what you're going to choose as your cantrips.
They do also have a good amount of both utility and roleplay cantrips as well in there. Mending. Druidcraft is one of my favorite cantrips.
Oh yeah.
Actually, wait.
Shit, how did we forget about that?
No, I've always wondered how Druidcraft. Okay, so Thaumaturgy, Prestidigitation, and Druidcraft, they more or less do the same thing, right?
More or less. Basically, they're the catch-all cantrips of we couldn't dedicate this feature to a whole cantrip in and of itself, so we just combined it with like 3 others. You can create tiny, harmless sensory effects. You can predict the weather. You can make a flower blossom. You can make a puff of wind or the smell of a skunk, for instance.
Could be fun.
Yeah, and the ever-present, you can snuff or light a candle, torch, or small campfire, because everyone needs that.
Yeah, of course. And one of the few things is that, I mean, again, this comes down to 100% a roleplay thing, but essentially, druids can't wear metal. Everything that you use, and again, it's that weird archetype of I'm a nature person, so metal is toxic to me, which I don't particularly buy into.
Yeah, it's a holdover from, I want to say, their second or third edition, as that they had it to where druids were not, like, it was an actual rule that if you're a druid, you can't use anything metal or metallic because
Yeah.
it destroys the earth.
Exactly.
And most DMs aren't super enforcing on that. I tend to not say that's a hard and fast rule. It's just you have an aversion to the process that makes it.
Yeah, I mean, so most of the time, like when you make a druid, the shield you get is a wooden shield, and you have a club which is made of wood, which you use Shillelagh on and beat someone over the head with it. Shillelagh, by the way, is a fantastic cantrip. If you're going in melee, I highly recommend Shillelagh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen more people who are playing other subclasses take Shillelagh, like a nature cleric, for instance, or Pact of the Tome warlock. It's really good with well.
Yeah.
I don't see too many druids honestly taking it because they have so many better cantrips ultimately.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, if you want to be upfront and personal, Shillelagh is always great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just to start, and then like when we get to Tasha's, we'll mention the optional rules, which allows you to do a whole bunch of other stuff, which is great. You also become a ritual caster, which is fantastic. So a lot of spells that have the ritual tag, you don't have to prepare that spell for the day, but you can cast it ritually by spending some time in doing it. So that's always available to you as an option. So it's always good fun to have. Ritual casting is more powerful than you think it is. Keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah.
And of course, you get your druidic focus, and then it's up to you how you want to flavor your focus. It could be the symbol of a deity, it could be a piece of wood that you found on the ground that you channel your magic through, whatever you wish. It's how you want to flavor it. And then, who wants to take wild shape?
Go for it. Go for it.
Steve, take it. Take wild shape.
All right. So it's a lot to cover, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
do more or less the cliff notes if that's okay.
I mean, we can deep dive on some certain stuff here and there, but yeah, go on.
Exactly, yeah. So Wild Shape is the ability as an action, with the exception of one specific subclass, to transform into a beast, which is any creature with the beast tag specifically. At second level, you can do up to a max of 1/4 CR, and it can't have a flying or swimming speed, which one of the best examples of that is a wolf. That's usually one of the first things people would turn into if they're taking this and not going Circle of the Moon. At fourth level, you can turn into something with a swimming speed, and then at 8th level, you can turn it. You don't have that limitation anymore. It can have a flying or swimming speed, and it goes up to 1/2 and 1 respectively for the CR.
Yeah.
Which
So
at that point, you're looking at crocodiles, giant eagles,
yeah.
pretty much any major beast that you can think of.
Yeah, so for those of you not familiar, CR is challenge rating. Every monster in the player's handbook, sorry, any monster in any of the monster books, everyone has a relation to CR. So CR is challenge rating, and that's usually how DMs who are playing homebrew campaigns especially can learn to balance out their encounters. So they don't make they don't put a bunch of level 1s against I don't know, a level like a CR5 creature. It's just not viable. That CR5 creature will probably crush the players, most likely, but the players might get lucky as well. But
And this is one of the
CR
reasons why.
yeah, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, this is why a lot of DMs do have issues with druids, is because essentially, especially if you're running a in-person game with newer players, they probably don't have access to the monster manual, so you're usually having to give them your copy, and they have to look through it and say like, okay, I want to turn into this.
Yeah.
And usually there's kind of a weird, you peering behind the screen element that rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah. Oh, one thing we should keep in mind. Your wild shapes are limited to what creatures you have seen as long as they are beasts.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when your player is making a druid, establish what creatures they have seen prior to them getting access to this feature. It's very important, because the last thing you want them to be is to just pick a random creature from the monster manual which potentially does not even appear in your campaign at all. It's like, how did you see that creature? I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, no, just establish that before you go forward.
And if you do have Xanathar's Guide to Everything, there is actually a guide of the animals in specific regions, so you can use that as a base, and you can add or subtract as necessary for what you feel.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the examples given in the Player's Handbook are pretty good. Wolf, crocodile, giant eagle. Those are pretty good creatures to turn into. Those things do hurt like hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
From a mechanical standpoint, those are usually for non-circle druid or non-circle moon druids. Those are usually going to be your best options anyways. So
yeah, like there's nothing wrong with like giant eagle. Put someone on your back and fly. It's great.
Yeah, you become the group mount.
Yeah, for better or for worse. Carry on, Steve.
The main thing with that as well, you can revert back to your normal form as a bonus action. And it depends on the DM, but a lot of times also they would allow you to basically gain the effects of the Speak with Animals spell while you're transformed, since you are an animal. Again, that's a thing you want to discuss with your DM, is how that works, because usually I think it's established lore that all animals speak Sylvan. So you gain some extra benefits that way.
Because it's weird, like if someone turns into an octopus and you try to talk to them, but they speak octopus to you, or so whatever, Sylvan to you. But the thing is, like, even if you don't understand Sylvan, then it's just like an octopus just waving its arms at you. It's like, how is it supposed to help you? And you're like, I guess you want me. It's one of those weird things, because animals, as much as we like to say, they don't really have expressive faces.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, that's the other thing too. Is you have to remember how smart this animal actually is.
Yeah, but I mean, the difference also is the fact that it keeps your mental stats, though, right?
Yes, that's the main benefit also to Wild Shape, is that you have your game statistics are replaced by the statistics of the animal you're taking on, with the exception of your mental stats.
Yeah.
So you maintain your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, unless the creature has a higher one, in which case you get the higher one.
Yeah.
So
actually, this is one thing I need to double check with, because I've always wondered about this. When it comes to so say I've turned into a wild shape, I'm using either Call Lightning or Moonbeam or something like that. Now, if the creature's constitution is higher than my base constitution, do I use mine or the creature's to make the save? Use yours, right?
Yeah. Specifically, it says your game statistics are replaced by the statistics of the beast, but you retain your alignment, personality, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. So you transfer over strength, dex, and con of the beast, which is one of the main reasons for it. Like one of the best things you can do, especially early on as a druid, is cast a concentration spell like Flaming Sphere or Moonbeam, and then transform into creature and then you use that stat block or use that constitution, so it makes it easier to actually maintain concentration.
Okay.
And essentially you're gaining anywhere between 10 to 30 temporary hit points on top of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's the thing. So the thing about druids, which is the thing about wild shape, which is great. The moment you transform, like Steve said, you take on the physical traits of that beast, which also means it's HP. So say you're a druid and you have 10 HP left, you are in the middle of you're getting your ass beat in. Wild shape, you now have a full health creature which is going to tank the damage for you. So turning into a bear, I think a bear is CR 2?
Depends on the type of bear, but they range from 1 to 2, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean bears have like about 54 HP, which is at lower levels, that's ridiculous amount of health. Like nobody matches that except maybe a barbarian.
Yeah, you can effectively double your hit points early on in a fight. And one of the features also is you gain the hit dice of that creature, which means if your party takes a short rest and you're still in your wild shape, you can use the hit dice of whatever creature you've turned into.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can heal up chunky. And of course, so the only way it either drops is if the HP of the wild shape goes to 0, you drop back to your normal form, or you choose to drop it yourself. But the thing is, like, if the damage taken is over the creature's health bar, so the entire creature, the wild shape drops, and the remaining damage taken by the creature goes into your health pool. So keep that in mind as well. So say my wolf has 10 HP left, I take 20 points of damage. That 10 is taken away from the wolf form. I drop to my normal form, and the other 10 goes to me.
Yeah.
So be wary of what you turn into again and against what creature you're going to turn against as well. So it's one of those. It's a good buffer, but be careful sometimes. Anything else? Sorry, Steve, please continue.
Yeah. One of the only real drawbacks is you can't cast spells while in your wild shape. Although the trick to that is you can cast while in your normal form, and if it's a concentration spell, you still maintain concentration on that spell. You still have to make concentration saves as normal, but again, you have that boost to Constitution most likely from your wild shape form. This one is always gets a little wonky depending on how the DM views it, but you do retain the benefit of any features from your class, race, or any other source, as long as they make sense effectively for your wild shape. So say you pop or wild shape into an ape, and you also have multiclassed into monk. I've allowed it in the past that you can use a bonus action still to make unarmed strikes just as an ape now.
Which is kind of nuts.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to be an ape who's good at kung fu, I'm gonna let you be an ape that's good at kung fu.
Because it's cool.
Exactly. Yeah. The examples they give is dark vision, also in your form.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the ability to see or something like that.
Actually, that's a weird thing. So you see you transform into something that doesn't have eyes. What do you do? Does dark vision still apply?
In the examples they give, it doesn't. I would agree with that. In general, is there aren't too many things that don't have eyes that you can transform into, so it doesn't come up all that often. But yeah, it's always on kind of a case-by-case basis with any skills or abilities from what you're turning into.
Right.
And that goes into the other feature that where your equipment will fall to the ground in your space, or it'll merge into your new form. So if you're wanting to use like this cool magic item that you got as a wolf, but it requires you to have hands or opposable thumbs, it's not going to work, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would never do is have them drop their stuff, because that feels bad. Because say the fight, something stupid like a fireball goes off, or there is someone uses a shadow spell and everything gets thrown everywhere. All your equipment gets flung to the winds, and you're just like, well, shit, I gotta go find my stuff now.
Yeah, it's the Incredible Hulk problem of how do his pants stay on.
Yeah. How do I mean, those pants are super powerful. They're OP as hell.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things, though, right? It's like, again, most DMs will not make it so they just off drops, because that's a really feels bad moment right there.
Yeah, and that's 100% why they put that in there. Of you just merges to you, so you don't have to explain where your clothes went every time you transform.
Yeah. I mean, of course, everyone forgets this part about the visual of the whole situation. It's all of you trudging around with backpacks on your back. Like, everyone forgets that. Like, everyone thinks they're walking no problem. Like, I'm walking in this forest, no issues. But it's just that you have a backpack full of stuff, and you're carrying stuff. So it's just. So when people say, like, I'm going to do a double backflip and kick somebody, I'm like, this should technically be a problem because there's a backpack on you, but fuck it, I'm going to let it go.
Yeah. It's because most D&D parties are hoarders, or at least have a hoarder in the group.
Oh, 100%.
So,
yeah.
So usually, you're carrying anywhere between 50 to 100 pounds worth of just random ass crap that you picked up. But as you said, in everyone's mind, they're just visually as cool as possible not doing that. So
because it's funny, because I keep seeing the image of Monty Python with the guys acting as horses with the coconuts. He's got a big fuck off backpack on his back, and he's doing the coconut thing as he's going along. But I'm just like, yeah, that's what it is. That's basically what you are. Like, any player, that's what you look like. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But interestingly, but I mean, okay, the wild shape, like I said, is a huge chunk of what the Druid's about.
Yeah.
And the wild shape itself is used by multiple different subclasses very differently. But we'll get to those in just a second. Because again, second level is when you get your wild shape plus your druid circle. But we're not going to touch the circles just yet. Those are the subclasses. We're going to move on, finish up, and then come back to the subclasses. And I just realized there's a massive jump in levels, dude, between stuff that features that they get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I mean,
realized
because the subclasses also.
that. Exactly. The subclasses give you
Features
most of your
themselves,
features,
so-
yeah. But yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, simple, straightforward again. The ASIs per usual, 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th. Every class gets that. But then, now at this point, we jump to 18th level. Conrad, take it away.
So at 18th level, you gain a feature called Timeless Body, where, well, basically, how do we say this? You just age slower. So every 10 years that passes, your body ages only 1 year. So, yeah,
Yay.
it's flavor, it's fun. I mean, you get to live
young.
longer.
I want to
Forever
be.
young.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. It's just that pretty much situation.
I mean, but it's awesome. Think like, what if you're this weird race that allows you to live for 100 years already? So every 10 years is 1 year now.
Yep. You're living in Hey, druids. Oh, say, hey, wizards, get fucked.
Yeah. That's why in games also you come across like age-old fucking druids who don't look all that old, but
Yeah.
those guys probably have lived through a lot of shit.
Yeah, easily millennia they could have survived for, depending on the race they choose as well.
Yeah. If you come across archdruids, be kind to them.
Oh,
they
will
might
fuck
be
you up.
eccentric and shit. They're
They-
most of the time eccentric. But please don't pick a fight with them.
Yeah, they will
Don't.
fuck you up, man. Druids are no fucking joke. Especially depending on which circle they choose as well.
Yeah.
With any tier 4 ability, it's usually either for flavor or it is just balance is already out the window, so here's something crazy.
Which we'll get to. You'll see what's gonna happen when we get to a certain top tier subclass. Then at 18th, once again, also at 18th level, you gain beast spells. You can cast as many of your druid spells in any shape while assuming wild shape, which is, again, it changes that rule from the beginning, which says you can't cast spells. Now you can, should you wish to. But the thing is, but then the only thing is you're not able to provide material components, therefore you can't cast those spells. Only semantic and verbal components are allowed. Material components, well, get fucked, because you can't, as a creature, you can't hold a material component. Although, if you're using the fact that your equipment merges into your being, technically you are holding the material component.
Yeah, it's more of a mechanical limitation I've always interpreted as, of
Right.
just, you're already so powerful and there's certain
Yeah. I think
spells
it's
that
about
do have materials.
stopping, coming to the point where being like, okay, you know what? You guys already have too much. It's okay. You can cast spells. Yes, sure. Maybe just not all. No.
I mean,
Easy.
Again, if you're 18th level, fuck it.
You're already a walking fucking T-Rex who's
Yeah.
probably casting some high-level spells. So,
Yeah, I mean,
what more do you want from me?
But I mean, my point is like, see, already at this point, balance out the fucking window. Why? We'll just let them cast their material component
I
spells.
mean, let's get to the next level.
Yeah. And then, I mean,
Goes
again,
two up.
Yeah, okay, so Arch Druid level 20. Simple and straightforward. You can use your wild shape an unlimited number of times. Starting at the beginning, you have a limited amount of uses of your wild shape. Does it go up once per level?
I
Or-
believe it just stays to 2 the whole time.
Does it not go higher?
I don't believe it does. Double checking.
Yeah, you need to double check that as well, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
say, yeah.
yeah.
It's always 2. Okay.
But you get it back on short or long rest.
Exactly, that's
And-
the other thing, yeah. But there you go. Pretty fucking sick. You can unlimit it, you can change as many times as you'd like, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
It's crazy.
Oh, here we go. Because level 20 is called Arch Druid. So I remember 18 says you can't use material components. Arch Druid, as wild shaped, you can use material component spells. There you go. Oh wait, hold on. As well as material components that lack a cost and aren't consumed by the spell, which is fine. because most of the shit that you're going to be casting, it doesn't consume the material, so you should be
Yeah.
fine.
One of the main concerns with that is the 9th level Druid spell, Shape Change, which allows you to take on another shape. So you can be transformed into a high level beast and then shape change into an ancient brass dragon, for instance.
Yeah,
So-
have fun with that.
Yeah.
Druids are broken. Druids are broken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the best of
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, they're super fun. As a player,
They're
I
fun.
love them. As a DM, I fucking hate them because they throw balance out the fucking window. A fight which is supposed to be brutal turns into a cakewalk. I hate it. But that said, that is the entire base Druid class. Now, we're gonna jump into two of the subclasses, or Druid circles as they call it in this game, which are available to you, all players, in the player's handbook. Let's start off with the Circle of the Land. Who wants to take this one?
I can if you want.
All right, go
Yeah,
for it.
go for it, Steve.
Go for it.
So the main feature you get, second level, or at least the first feature you get, is you get a bonus cantrip, which is always nice.
Yeah,
And
because
still
remember,
gets-
Druids only get 2 at the beginning, so having an extra cantrip is always good.
Yeah.
Just that extra versatility, definitely helpful. Natural recovery, which is basically the same thing as the Wizard's Arcane recovery. Essentially, during a short rest, you can expend, or you can gain some of your spell slots back. Let's see, get the numbers here. Spell slots can have a combined level as equal to or less than half your Druid level, rounded up.
Yeah.
And none of the slots can be 6th level or higher, and you can only use it the one short rest per long rest.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, the example they gave you, say if you're a 4th level Druid, you can recover up 2 levels worth of spell slots. You can recover either 1 second level spell slot or 2 first level spell slots. So bit of math to do, but it's not that difficult. But yeah. Essentially, because if you're level 6, you can get a 3rd level spell slot back or 3 first level spell slots back, or 1 second level and 2 second levels. 1 second level or one first level. Fuck. See, math. Fuck. Fuck that shit. But yeah, essentially, fantastic. Natural recovery is great because getting back some of those spells that Druids get access to is stupid powerful, and getting those back on a short rest, always good. But again, like Steve said, once per day, you can do this.
Yeah. It's extremely good, especially if you're going through a fairly long dungeon, being able to just gain back some resources halfway through, so you don't feel like you're wasting it if you cast something like Good Berry, or you have to cast Cure Wounds to bring an ally up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. There's nothing quite like getting your shit back. Please,
Oh yeah.
please let me have my resources back. Okay.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a resource management game, so anything that lets you regain resources is always going to be valuable.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, go on.
Say the next feature is the specific circle spells, which break down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 different categories.
Again, some of these spells are pretty fucking cool.
Let's go.
So this is gonna be a chunky thing to look at, but let's get into it.
So this is also just dependent on how you want to flavor your Druid more than anything else, but you've got Arctic as the first option with circle spells, Hold Person, Spike Growth,
Fantastic
Sleep Storm,
spells.
Slow, Free Movement, Ice Storm, Commune with Nature, Grown Cold, all basically flavored towards the Arctic, obviously.
Yeah, I mean some of those spells are on the Druid spell list, though, right?
Some are and some aren't.
Yeah.
I think in that case, all those are specifically Druid spells.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I've always realized that this is a valuable thing for any class. If you gain access to any spellcaster, I should say, be it half caster or full caster, if you gain access to spells that are outside of your class, that's always a win.
Yeah.
Always a win.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But that's Arctic. Corn of Cold is a fantastic spell.
Yeah, that's one of the best AoEs in the game by a pretty wide margin.
Does so much damage, it's ridiculous. What's that, like a 30-foot cone? Or a 15-foot cone?
I want to say 30.
30-foot cone. There you go. That's huge. That's a lot of
Next
damage.
Next is Coast. You get Mirror Image, Misty Step, Water Breathing, Water Walk, Control Water, Freedom Movement, Conjure Elemental, which is a great one, and Scrying.
Yeah, those are great spells.
Yeah, Conjure Elemental and Scrying are just, again, two of the best spells in the game in general. Especially from both a roleplay perspective and, if you're chasing down a specific villain, being able to look and see where they're at is always valuable.
Yeah.
Scrying. I don't think we made this clear, but essentially these spells come into effect at 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level. Like these are automatically added to your spells now.
Exactly. Yeah. And Mirror Image, Misty Step as early spells are extremely great as well.
Very good. Especially if you're going to be if you're not going to use your wild shape to turn into animals, Mirror Image is easily one of the best spells ever. Spellcasters, if you get access to Mirror Image, grab that shit. It's so good.
Yep. Especially also with Misty Step, since you can Misty Step to an enemy and then as an action transform into a beast. So you just get straight up in their face and start tanking damage potentially.
Yeah, or Misty Step and Shillelagh their ass, yeah. Or
Well, at level 18, you can wild shape and mirror image. I don't think it needs.
oh yeah, Misty Step also, yeah.
components, does it? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Imagine that. Jesus.
Yeah, but by that point you're just like destroying everything anyway.
Also, always having water breathing prepared, especially if you are going coast, you're most likely in a campaign that is focused on the water. So having that always prepared
I think it is ritual also, right?
Water breathing is ritual,
It's a
yeah.
ritual
Yeah,
spell,
it's a ritual spell, yeah. And it lasts for 24 hours, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing like a seafaring campaign, enjoy yourself.
Man, we used it to walk the bed of that river in Strahd.
Oh yeah.
amazing.
You guys walked in the river to avoid getting your
I
asses
still don't
beat.
know why. Dude, G had the wackiest to find his fucking druids. I mean, they're amazing. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
Just had a very druid moment there, just
Yeah.
thinking of that.
It was nuts.
It was awesome. It was good fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean,
Control Water.
Control
as
Water.
campaign.
Oh, Control Water is phenomenal as a
Ooh.
spell. So good.
Oh, yeah.
Any
Okay,
time
so-
you get involved in naval combat, it's a potential just automatic win. So
Yeah, you can just capsize a boat instantly or a ship, whatever you want. Okay, so quick point to note. So like I'm saying, so there's, I mean, I'll just quickly list off the locations. There's Arctic, Coast, Desert, Forest, Grassland, Mountain, Swamp, and the Underdark. Now here's the thing. Check with your DM and make sure that some of these locations are viable for you to be from. Because if your campaign's based up in let's say in Icewind Dale, chances of you leaving the grasslands just to go to Icewind Dale seem extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely want to have a reason why you're there,
Yeah.
and definitely a thing to talk to your DM about of like, how you ended up in the place you ended up if you're not in your natural habitat.
I mean, like the only place I would say which I don't care about, like if you're in the Underdark, I'm like you can. Sorry, so say you are based in Underdark, but your land is from grassland, mountain, swamp. Doesn't matter because Underdark spans the entire world. So in that case, I won't question it. But if you're a swamp guy, if you're in the swamp and you're from the Arctic, why are you in the swamp? I need a good reason for that. So it always comes down to make sure. I think Druid is one of the few classes where talking to your DM is extremely important to establish
Oh, yeah.
if their existence in this situation makes sense. Okay? Again, that's my personal opinion. Some people don't give a shit, which is fine. But yeah, that was Coast. Great stuff.
After Coast is Desert, you get Blur. Similar effect to Mirror Image, not as good, but still disadvantage. Silence, great spell. Create Food and Water. Create Food and Water is one of those spells that can just kind of nullify an entire aspect of the campaign. So survival is no longer a concern. Protection from energy, extremely good. Flight, extremely good. Boosting of terrain. Insect Plague, super fun. And Wall of Stone.
I've seen Blight and combat encounters. I hate it.
Yeah.
Great spell, but I hate it.
It's a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage.
And Wellstone is one of those very nice spells, especially because you're getting at 9th level. So that's usually around the time your group has gotten some sort of land to call their own. So that can help just, hey, we want to build walls around our property. You can just do that now.
Yeah. I got it. Well, that's a whole amount of money you don't have to spend anymore. Fuck.
Exactly. Let's see. After that is Forest. Barkskin, which is an exceptionally good spell for wild shaping, since
Yeah.
it can raise the AC of whatever creature you're turning into. So, turn into a direwolf that now has 16 AC.
Yeah, so Boxskin, so for those you not aware, Boxskin gives you default 16 AC.
Yep. It is 16 no matter what.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Because most druids don't have, you're not wearing heavy armor because you don't wear metal, or you're not wearing like leather armor. Even then, your dexterity isn't that high enough for you to make that leather armor worthwhile. Barkskin, fantastic spell to keep yourself safe. Base 16, which is basically the base of fucking heavy armor. Like the base heavy armor is 16 AC. So there you go. Free heavy armor.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Spider Climb, also extremely good ability, especially in conjunction with your wild shapes. Being able to turn into a wolf that's walking on the ceiling, or really any small creature that doesn't have the ability to climb already, you can now climb, so you can sneak into places very easily.
That's terrifying, actually. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Fucking wolf on the ceiling? Jesus.
just leaps down at you.
Yeah.
Call Lightning, again,
Fantastic
extremely good. Plant Growth, it's a great spell for almost roleplay more so, because, if you meet a local farmer whose crops are failing, Plant Growth allows you to double their crop yield, so you can just sell that to people if you wanted to make some quick cash of, hey, I'll make your crops grow faster.
Yeah. It's a great hustle. It's a great hustle.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Divination, it's a pretty good spell for the moment. Talked about earlier, good spell as well. Commune with Nature, and Tree Stride. Tree Stride, again, is one of those spells you want to talk to your DM about, because it can just make an entire aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Like, well, this journey was going to take you guys 2 weeks, but you got there in about an hour. So,
Great.
we're just going to call it a session because I didn't have that prepared.
Well, that goes. Like I was saying, players will come up with stupid shit to throw all your plans into disarray.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, guys.
Whenever you love a druid in your game, be prepared for it.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah,
fun.
it's super fun because they come up with some crazy.
It's always
shit.
fun having a druid in the game, especially one who comes up with good ideas. It's always fun.
It's good fun.
Let's see, Grassland is next. You get Invisibility, one of the best spells. Pass Without Trace,
Fantastic
easily
spell.
one of the best spells.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I think
Daylight.
druids get that by default, right? Yeah. Druids get
I think
that
they
trace
do.
by default.
Yeah.
but not having to prepare it is always good.
Of course.
Because that's
Yeah.
one
Yeah. That's
Pass Without
true.
Trace, especially in any dungeon or any real combat encounter. Not necessarily a combat encounter, just anytime you're trying to sneak into a place, you're going to have Pass Without Trace prepared.
Yeah.
So having it as a guarantee is great.
It's fantastic.
Daylight and Haste. Haste is one of the best spells in the game, bar
100%.
none.
For those of you who are not familiar with Haste, you are missing out. It is easily, like Steve said, one of the most powerful spells in the game. Like I said, at some point we will do a spells episode.
Yeah.
But Haste essentially gives you double your speed, +2 to your armor class, and you get to make another attack during your turn. And it's ridiculous.
Yep.
It's so good. Druids, anyone who has access to Haste, put this on your paladin, put this on your barbarian, put this on your ranger, put this on your monk, and holy shit. It's so good. So good.
Only limitation is that when the spell ends, they basically lose a churn. but that usually means that you've gotten attacked or lost concentration for some reason.
Yeah.
Which, if you're wild-shaped, harder to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, divination, freedom of movement are the other two you get there. Again, same as the forest.
Yeah.
And ninth levels are Dream and Insect Plague, which Dream is one of my favorite spells as well.
So wait,
It's
actually, I've never used
DM
Dream before. I've never read it actually. But what does Dream do exactly?
You can go into someone's mind and fuck with them.
Oh, so Inception. Okay.
Yeah, it's 100% just Inception the spell.
Okay.
Yeah, so if the target's asleep, you can send a messenger into their dreams and converse with them that way. You can also make that messenger appear monstrous and terrifying to the target. Part of that is also that they have to then make a wisdom save, and on a failure, they basically don't get a night's sleep.
Oh, exhaustion. There we go.
Yeah. They also take 3d6 psychic damage when they wake up.
Woo!
So, if
Nasty.
I remember, I'm reading through it now, but yeah, as long as you know the target, so if you've already met the big bad evil guy of your campaign and you know who it is, you can just fuck with them in their sleep and make sure they never get a night's sleep and potentially just kill them because of exhaustion.
Yeah. Oh, conversely, remember players, this can be used against you too.
Yes, it can.
Yeah. So it's, again, double-edged sword. Whatever you can do, the DM can do and do it better than you.
Yeah. That's an important thing to remember. The DM always has more time to think about it than you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm picking up Dream. Oh, this should be fun.
Yeah. It's...
I mean, okay. Again, it's not to say that don't do it. Like, do it. It's perfectly fine. It's just that remember, like, I mean, I don't think any of us are vindictive DMs, luckily.
Yeah.
Like, we don't go out of our way to fuck with somebody. But point is, it happens. So, be careful. Don't piss off your DM.
I do not go after my players.
Yeah.
Certain NPCs will.
100%.
I am not.
Yes.
There are NPCs who are.
Yeah.
So if you start messing with someone's
That's
sleep
true.
cycle,
That's the
You're
truth.
gonna get
right?
busy.
It's the
Yeah.
NPCs at the end of the day. You're pissing them off.
Yeah.
if you want to start messing with the king of a kingdom, he's gonna send some people after you. And if you start messing with his sleep cycle, he's gonna do the same to you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Keep in mind. Players, be very mindful of your actions. There are consequences in this game.
Yes,
There is no reload last save.
exactly.
But yeah.
After that is mountain. You get spider climb, which we discussed. Spike growth, which is a very good utility spell.
Yeah.
Being able to control the battlefield anytime is valuable. Lightning bolt, just mechanically one of the best spells in the game from a damage standpoint. It's up there with fireball. Meld into stone. It's a great way to lay traps as a spell. Being able to just sink into a wall and just wait for somebody to pop out or walk by and then you pop out.
It's good ambush spell. Meld into stone only works on you and you alone, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because if you can cast on other people, that's even better. Because I mean, again, think about it. Fucking, you're in a tight corridor. There's the Indiana Jones situation is happening to you. Melt into the wall. Boulder goes by, it doesn't touch you.
Yeah, it is a touch spell, so you can put it on somebody else as well. So you have an assassin rogue in the party. Just have them go into the wall real quick while you're discussing something, and then they just pop out of nowhere and stab a dude.
Yeah. Could be fun. Insta crit. Let's go.
Stone shape and stone skin. Stone skin is basically an upgraded version of bark skin.
Yeah.
And stone shape is a great way if you're into crafting. It's a great spell. This is great if you want to play like a mountain dwarf whose whole thing is about mountains and crafting.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wish there was a door here. I make a door.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
It's a good spell.
And then you get kind of an upgraded version of that with pass wall.
Pass
after
wall,
that.
yeah.
Again, once again, wall of stone. Put up a stone wall, meld into it.
Yeah.
That's
Again,
so
that's
fun.
around the level you're getting land usually, or expected to get some sort of property of some kind. So, a great way if you just want to build a fortress for yourself.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
After that is swamp. You get darkness. Very good utility spell. Melf's acid arrow. It's an alright spell.
Yeah, I read it also, and I was like, yeah, it's okay.
It's a legacy spell, so that's part of the reason why I think it's in there. But
Oh yeah, by the way, for those of you wondering why some of these spells have people's names in them, they're the ones who invented these spells.
yeah,
And that's usually wizards. Usually. So as a player,
most of the time, yeah.
actually, you know what? We'll talk about when we come to wizards, because yeah, I love wizards, and we'll get to that soon. But yeah, druids for now.
It's more legacy and lore is why that's in there. But after that, it's water walk, always valuable. Stinking cloud, again, good control spell.
Very good.
Freedom movement. Locate creature is very important, especially once you're getting to that level around 7th, because that's around the time you're going to be starting to look for specific characters. Insect Plague and Scrying. Again, Scrying kind of filling that same role, and Insect Plague is just great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the subclass, or the subclass if you're wanting to make Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
The Swamp Thing is a
Yeah.
druid.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
He's 100%
yeah.
a druid, yeah. And then the final last land is the Underdark.
Yep. So with that, you get, again, Spider Climb, you get Web, which makes sense because the Underdark is full of spiders.
Yeah. The web is good. Web is a good spell. Web's a great spell.
Very good for control spell, and has some other utility as well, since the web is flammable. You can do some stuff with that.
Yeah, have some fun with that.
Gaseous Form, Stinking Cloud again. Greater Invisibility, which is incredibly good for any caster.
Yeah, super powerful.
Stone Shape, Cloud Kill, and Insect Plague as well.
Cloud Kill is great.
Yeah, Cloud Kill is one of those can turn the tide of the battle instantly kind of spells.
Yeah. Plus Cloud Kill, and if you're all trapped in, if enemies are trapped in a room or in a cage or something, they're done. It's GG.
Yeah.
Hey DMs, have fun. Wall of Force and Cloud Kill, go have fun. Or
Yep.
Force Cage and Cloud Kill.
Yeah, there's a good amount of ways to get creative with that.
Players too. Remember, guys, there's one thing I've realized I need to tell a lot of people is the fact that if you have casters in your group, casters, combo together, man. You can do some fun stuff. Spike growth with grease. Have fun. You have a shredder. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But that's I mean, I know. Okay, so these are just the spells you get from choosing your specific land. There's more. Let's get to those.
So next ability is Landstride. When you guys want to take that one?
No, go for it. Go for it. All you, baby. All you.
Okay. So 6th level, moving through non-magical difficult terrain costs you no extra movement, which is extremely valuable if you have a DM who is paying attention to the environment, which as a DM you always should be.
Yeah. Think of it like Legolas walking on top of the snow in Finish with the Ring. If you see all of them trudging through snow, Legolas is walking on top of the snow, no problem. Similar thing, essentially.
Basically, yeah. It's, you no longer are slowed down by anything like, thorn bushes or, anything of that nature. Also, you can pass through non-magical plants without being slowed down by them, and without taking damage from them if they have thorns, spines, or similar hazard. So any sort of nature-based hazards you no longer have to worry about. In addition, you have advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created or manipulated to impede movement, such as those created by the Entangle spell.
Which is super valuable.
Which is awesome.
Super
Yeah.
valuable.
Yeah. if you're a druid, you're probably going to be encountering some form of evil druids at some point. So having a direct counter to their strategy is good. And especially also because this would most DMs I think would agree this should still apply in your wild shape form.
Yeah.
So you can just turn into a dire wolf around that point. Well, actually, yeah, not as this druid, but a regular wolf. You can just turn into a regular wolf and run straight up to somebody.
Yeah. Or high, actually the 6th level, yeah. So yeah. But again, this applies. It's a permanent passive effect, so it's great. You can fly. You can fly through vines and forests without any problem if you're a giant eagle or whatever.
Yeah, nature bends to you around this point, so
yeah, it's pretty sick. It's great for a roleplay perspective. Just the fact that I'm in a jungle terrain, I'm going to turn into a bird and fly up ahead and scout. Nothing can stop you.
Awesome.
Yeah. It does have the specification that it's non-magical difficult terrain, which is important to remember as well.
Yeah.
Because there is magical difficult terrain created in a lot of cases.
Yeah, 100%. So it's not like Sleet Storm or whatever it is. Plank growth, all that stuff. Can help. Then we get to 10th level.
We have Nature's Ward. This is a big one, just from a mechanical standpoint. So, 10th level, you can't be charmed or frightened by elementals or fae, and you're immune to poison and disease.
Fae love to charm people, which is great.
Yeah.
Like, Fae are usually one of the most favorite creatures that DMs will use to throw against the players.
Yeah.
And at that level, be sure you're going to be encountering creatures
100%,
of that kind.
100%.
You're going to have a lot of creatures trying to mess with you.
Yeah.
Also, being immune to an entire damage type is insanely valuable.
Yeah.
Especially stuff like elementals, or actually even Fae for that matter, any creature for example. They can either poison you, which gives you disadvantage and everything like that. Immediately, any damage you take is just negated. They use, let's say they use, does Melf's acid arrow do poison or acid damage?
Acid damage.
It does acid damage, right? It's always weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but yeah. But certain things, like certain damage types, just do nothing. You're like, ha! I laugh at your damage. Well, most, like for example, barbarians get damage halved. You take none of it. Peace out, bitch.
As a player, it's always a good feeling of just being able to look at the DM when they say you take this much damage and say, no, I don't.
Yeah, especially if it's a green dragon. Like an ancient green dragon breeds on you. You're just like, ha! Eat a dick. It's fun.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun.
Disease also is one of those things. It depends on the DM how much they actually use it, but being able to just shrug off any potential hazards of diseases is pretty good.
Actually, I've never actually played with diseases in this game. Like, what kind of diseases can you get? Like what? Like bone rot or whatever? Something like that? Flesh rot?
Flesh rot's one. There's a list in the DMG of basically like sample diseases that you can get. Sewer rot is another one. I can think of off the top of my head. A lot of them are ultimately homebrew because the examples they give are pretty weak in general, like cackle fever is another. But with Kiar, we obviously made a specific one.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones throughout, but for the most part, it's just, do you want there to be diseases? So it's one of those things that ultimately doesn't factor in too awful much, but having it there is still nice for when it does.
Yeah. I mean, like from a perspective, like say you're gonna play a medic or something like that. If you're affected by a disease and you're immune to it, you immediately know that I can use my blood as a way to synthesize, or my whatever, any part of me as a way to synthesize a potential cure for the disease. Which I am more than happy to do with my players. I'm like, yeah, someone has a disease, you're immune to it, maybe your blood will help solve the problem. And you can sell that cure for a lot of money.
Yeah.
More
That's
hustle.
again one thing I probably want to talk to your DM about, of like how thoroughly is your knowledge, especially as a druid since you are a wisdom caster.
Yeah.
the level of knowledge versus just intuition difference there. So
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned before, like the Druid is a huge class, which you better spend some time with your DM if you're going to choose that to decide how you're going to build this character. It's kind of important because a lot of a lot of features here can be applied to multiple different areas of the game, and it's always good that you discuss it with your DM prior to everything. Which again, session 0 will help a lot with that. So
absolutely, yeah.
yeah. So players and DMs keep that in mind. If someone's going to play a Druid in your game, look over what they're building and try and help them out, or try and set some rules for what's going to happen.
Yeah, it can get really chaotic with the Druid guys, trust me.
100%.
I still remember Paul and I sitting and figuring out what wild shapes we can do, what we can't do, and oh my god, setting up sheets for them.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of stuff that comes with it. A lot of preparation that comes with playing a Druid. But it pays off.
It pays
pays off.
Yeah. Oof. Like I said, as a DM, hate him. Player, love him.
Yeah.
And the final capstone feature.
Yep, last feature they get is Nature Sanctuary. 14th level, creatures of natural world sense your connection. So when a beast or plant creature attacks you, that creature has to make a wisdom save against your spell save DC. On a failure, they choose either a different target or that just automatically misses. So you're fighting, say, a mammoth and it's charging straight towards you. It fails its wisdom save, it just stops.
Yep.
Or hits the guy next to you.
It's feels bad to be him.
But this is actually super good.
Yeah.
It's actually really good.
It fits thematically, and it's just a super valuable effect in general. Especially again, once you've reached, because this would be tier 3, tier 4.
Yeah, by that level, your spell save DC is high.
Yeah, it's
so
your
chances are it is going to work.
Yeah, your spell save will be at least minimum 20, because by then you already have a 20 in your wisdom, and your proficiency bonus is +5. So DC 20, most beasts aren't that wise, so chances are they're not gonna hit you. They just be like, no.
Most likely also, if you've built a druid and you've gotten this far, you're dealing with beasts or plants in some form, whether it's, an evil druid circle that you're fighting against, or, some evil catalyst who's taken a bunch of beasts and is using them to attack you. Yeah. All of a sudden, they can't attack you anyways. So,
I mean, again, this is not an exact analogy for it, but think of that moment where Bruce Banner goes, "I'm always angry," and punches that big fucking creature in the face, and it just immediately stops. It's kind of like that, except you don't punch the creature. It's just kind of like hold. Or Neo blocking bullets. It's like stop.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is.
Neo just holding his hand up and blocking the bullets.
Yeah.
It's like, nope. I mean, I guess like Stampede coming at you, you guys just hide away. You just walk up and go, no. Stampede stops.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it can be a great moment for your druid player to just have like a herd of mammoths or, any other group of beasts charging at the party, and all of a sudden they get to go out in front of the party and just hold out their hand, and the entire stampede just stops in place.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's pretty cool. Again, this is a 40, like I said, tier 3 is more viable to get to in terms of most games. Like level 14 it's achievable.
Yeah.
But like I say, getting to like 18th level and all that kind of stuff, that's when shit gets super difficult to continue the game. Because like I said before, at that point, balance goes out the fucking window. Speaking of balance...
Everybody's favorite subclass.
Or lack thereof in balance.
Yay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the, without question, the most powerful Druid subclass. I think Conrad is aching at the bits to talk about this one, so I'm gonna let him take it.
Like straight off the bat, if you want to play a druid, just like the typical stereotype, transforming into different creatures, Circle of the Moon. Don't worry about anything else.
no matter
Don't worry.
it doesn't matter where you go to, who you talk to. In a tier list, Circle of the Moon is the top
You're good.
tier.
Yeah.
You
good.
can
Yep.
never
You're
go
good.
wrong. You can never go
You're
wrong.
good.
This subclass is fucking insane. And you'll
Mhm,
see why. Go on. Throw
Yeah.
battles out the fucking window.
So starting off at second level, and when you choose the Circle of the Moon, you can wild shape as a bonus action now.
Which is
So
huge.
yay!
It's
Yay!
huge.
So do we have to talk about anything else? I think we've covered everything. Cool.
You
Yeah.
guys don't understand how powerful. So
Yeah,
remember how
that's-
Steve mentioned before. You can cast a spell before wild shaping.
Yeah.
You can throw down
So-
Call Lightning. You can throw down Moonbeam, whatever other powerful
Yeah.
ass spell.
I've
And just-
I've loved it because of that. Like I've been able to use Entangle and then bonus action like Wild Shape and just like after just pounce on the creature or something, or even Moonbeam and just kick them into it after that using some creature. It's insane.
the applications
The-
are
The
endless.
applications are it's insane, and
Basically
just being able to
allowing-
do it as a bonus action.
Exactly. Action. The thing is, action economy is one of the few things that players have going for them. If you don't have to use your action, which you can do like a proper attack with, using a bonus action to transform into something super powerful is amazing. Circle of the Moon is fucking nuts. But continue.
Yeah, and additionally, while you are transformed by Wild Shape, you can use a bonus action to expend one spell slot to regain 1d8 hit points per level of the spell slot expended.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
What?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's-
one of the main reasons to honestly play it is the fact that you can
Yeah.
basically just stay in your wild shape in a fight
You can heal.
for that much longer.
I did
because you
not
can
know
just
that was a
keep
thing.
healing.
Holy shit! I don't know that was a thing. Okay, fuck. It's even more broken now. There we go.
Again, this you'll probably be doing more in later levels. Early levels, you might think twice about expending a spell slot to regain a hit, hit points.
True.
You'll probably just be like, it's okay, let's just drop the shape and I'll do something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, later on, once it kicks in and really makes it worth the economy, oof. Jeez.
Yeah, by about 6th or 7th level, you have enough first level spell slots. that you can
Yeah, to
toss
burn.
out.
Yeah.
Because you're burning high-low spell slots anyway.
Yeah,
So you
you're
will-
using your high level spell slots for like Call Lightning, and then your first levels you're using to stay in your wild shape.
yeah, wild shape
Mhm,
conjure
mhm.
animals. Go have fun. Or conjure
Yeah.
woodland beings. Fuck.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Jesus. When,
Oh.
when we do the spells episode, you guys will understand how powerful.
Yeah, why it's awesome. Why playing Druid and why play Circle of the Moon Druid is just yeah, it's those noises. Literally.
It's like I'm gonna play a druid. What are you making? Circle of the Moon. I'm like,
Circle of the
fuck.
Shit.
Why? Play something else, please. No. Okay. Fuck. Fine. But yeah, circle forms. This is where, like I was saying, remember balance out the fucking window. Go for it.
Yeah, it just goes out from here with circular form. So starting at second level again. And this also, yeah, shit, I forget it comes at second level itself.
Yeah.
Fuck, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. So basically, it removes the CR cap. So essentially, you can use your wild shape to transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as 1. You ignore the max CR column of the beast shape stable, but must abide by the other limitations there.
Yeah. So which is basically so essentially at second level, the beast you're turning into can be CR1, but it can't have a flying or swimming speed.
Yeah.
And then at fourth level, again, it can be CR1, but no flying speed. And then
I think again at 8.
I mean, eighth level, no more what do you call it? No more restrictions. But sixth level is when shit gets crazy. But continue.
So that's basically what circular forms is, and at 6th level you can transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as your druid level divided by 3, rounded down.
At level 6, you can turn into a CR2 creature.
Have fun.
And some of those
Yeah.
CR2 creatures are kind of nuts.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Like I was doing Direwolf and all that, no? Like,
Yeah, and
like,
Direwolf are
because
great.
I started Luna at 6th level or something.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Turn into Direwolf, pack tactics,
was the
have
best.
fun.
Oh, it's amazing, guys. Trust me. Like the beast list, if you have time, like just Google the
Yeah.
beast list, and oh my god, that'll push you even more to want to play Circle of the Moon, and make your DM regret inviting you to the table.
Extremely upsetting. Extremely upsetting. It's very upsetting.
I'm kidding. They love you.
When you break it down to mechanical terms, it's basically as a bonus action, you gain 34 temporary hit points, and you gain a great sword attack
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
and you gain multi-attack because you can turn into a brown bear, which is more or less the best from stats perspective
Yeah.
creature to turn into.
Brown bears
Yeah.
are they hit
At
like
least early
trucks.
levels, and then obviously it goes even higher.
Yeah, there are so many utility creatures like giant spiders. My favorite was the fucking giant spider.
Yeah. Giant
I don't know
spider is
why.
great.
I loved the fucking giant spider. It was amazing because if I could web someone and moonbeam them, it was the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
Like, ha, 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 ha.
Or if you're playing in my campaign of Stalk King's Thunder, you can turn into a crag can. Which
Jeez, yeah.
if someone attacks it with a targeted spell that has a saving throw, like say for example Disintegrate, that creature, if it succeeds on a saving throw, reflects that spell right back at the caster,
Yeah.
which is stupid powerful.
I keep wishing for Prissy to keep transforming into the crank cat more often, but I stop myself from metagaming.
Yeah. It's such a good creature.
It's such an amazing creature.
And in snow, it can just become invisible.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You can
So
also be
these
a
are-
polar bear at 6th level.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
But I mean, again, remember guys, the restriction is you have to have seen
You
the
have to
creature.
see it. Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to see the creature.
Yeah.
You can't be like in some forest where there's no no bear also in particular in that particular region of the forest and suddenly you'll be like, yeah, I want to turn into a polar bear. First of all, why?
Yeah.
Secondly, you haven't seen one.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is one of those. Again, I mentioned before, druids need the most amount of homework done before you start playing one.
Yeah, as a player, from experience, I can say I did the most prep work for Luna than I did for any other characters.
Yeah.
Even cleric, like spell management was the only thing, but with druids, it's spell management with beast list.
Yeah.
Like beast list is a bane of existence. My God.
I have a player who's trying to convince me that she's seen a Dionicus. And I'm like, no.
Oh, Prissy.
Not Prissy. Not Prissy.
Oh, not Prissy.
This is Taru.
Oh,
She's playing a wildfire druid, and one of our players just mentioned the Velociraptor or Dionicus, and I was like, no, you haven't been to Chult. There is no way you've been to Chult. I'm not allowing it. I'm sorry. So yeah, if you want to negotiate with the DM, you can. DMs don't fold to that shit. Play hardball. Because some of the beasts that players can get access to are fucking nuts.
Yeah, hardball in the sense, like, think about balance as well. You don't want to break the game for you.
Yeah, because
like as a DM,
the last thing you want
don't
is
want
combat to become arbitrary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because after a point, you can, you can up creeps, like the number of creeps or level, but your players will keep leveling up. So it just, it's just for balance sake. Have a good chat with your player if they're playing, especially Circle of the Moon Druid. And if you know it's going to be a high level campaign, have a good chat.
Yeah. we just got circle forms. We haven't gotten the rest of the features yet. Jesus
No, not yet.
Christ.
Not yet.
Okay,
not
go
yet.
on.
And also at 6th level, you gain another feature called Primal Strike, where your attacks in beast form count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage.
Very important. Very
So
important.
you can look to the monk in the group and be like, you're cool, and then just transform into a giant as fucking ape and do the same shit he's doing, but you just look more beastly and more cooler than.
Yeah,
You just
100%.
shat on his
It's huge. Because like most after a point, DMs have no issue throwing barbarians of their own at you, and they will rage.
Yeah.
Immediately your Primal Strike's like, fuck that. Take your goddamn immunity and fuck off.
Yeah.
Beat the shit out of you. Go for it.
Specifically for stuff like, ghosts,
Yeah.
poltergeists, so forth, that have those resistances, because otherwise, when they are transformed, their attacks are going to be basically doing nothing. So, and again, it's about I believe that's the same level as you said, monks get their ability to do that. So it keeps them on par.
Yeah.
So they're not falling behind in damage and
Yeah,
they aren't feeling useless.
Yeah, Primal Strike is huge. I mean, again, like if you can overcome a resistance of an enemy, that's massive.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's really big.
Well, it's specifically that their attacks count as magical. So, for instance, like rage, they would still get resistance from it. It's just that it's non-magical strikes. There's a difference between magical and non-magical strikes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what you get at 6th level. And then moving on, at 10th level, you get Elemental Wild Shape. Oh, that I so wished I got to this. You can expend 2 uses of Wild Shape at the same time to transform into an Air Elemental, Earth Elemental, a Fire Elemental, or a Water Elemental. Any elemental, basically.
Fuck.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. And yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
what do you say?
this, in combination with the level 20 of Archer ability, where you have unlimited wild shapes, basically means you have over 100 temporary hit points as a bonus action every round. So it's mathematically very difficult to kill an Archdruid.
Yeah.
You just have to catch them in that moment where they can't transform. You need to drop them off their shape and then prevent them from transforming. How you do that, I don't know, but that's probably one way of stopping them, I guess.
I mean,
at that level,
it's
right.
Fuck. I mean,
like fucking knock them down and trank that the motherfucker, catch them off guard or some shit. I don't know.
Your only hope against a Moon Druid is if you're first in initiative.
Yeah.
If their initiative beat yours, you're
Yeah.
done. You're done. GG. Get fucked.
Yeah. Turn into an earth elemental, go into the earth, start an earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish.
What do you do at that point?
Yeah. It's like, get fucked. Just get fucked. Nothing you can do.
Fly into the air. Okay, I turn into an air elemental, and now I'm gonna summon a storm to attack you.
Yeah. Elementals are no fucking joke.
No joke.
Yeah.
No joke. No joke. Wow, man. Damn, I so wish I got to that level.
Next time, don't travel on your own. Don't split the party.
Druids, what can you do?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, if you are cast cons of woodland beings and walk together, I'll be like, okay, it's fine. But no, you went alone.
Yeah, I mean, like, what were the odds of fucking wolves, like, finding a tiny spider ominous? Like, goddamn!
They can smell and see you.
True. In the moment, you don't think of these things,
Okay, yeah, of course.
Druid life.
Yeah.
I miss it. I miss that fucking character. Honestly, guys, like, I'm sorry, like, the most loved character of mine was a fucking druid. And, like, that character died and I hated it. I hated the fact, like, that was a character I really wanted to see through.
I hated
Like,
doing
druids
it.
are so much fun.
I
I hated it. But, like,
Look, because again, like Con and I sat for hours and planning out this woman's story. And then she died and I was like, fuck! All that work is gone to waste. I hate it. I wanted to see this. I want to see her do more. But yeah, it happens. People make decisions.
But
and unfortunately,
yeah, the point was like, it was fun. Playing a druid was fun, and the druid I played was pretty bordering on the stereotypical, kind of not all that there, up there.
I mean, she
Like,
wasn't there at
quite
all.
nutty.
She was completely
Actually,
out.
she wasn't there at all. Yeah,
she was.
she
checked
thought
out.
she was fine.
A couple of sandwiches short of a picnic. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they are fun. And moving on, at 14th level, you get a feature called 1000 Forms. You have learned to use magic to alter your physical form in most subtle ways. You can cast the Alter Self spell at will.
Alter Self is stupidly powerful.
It's amazing.
It's a second level spell, and it's so good. So good. Like Steve mentioned,
Wow.
Moon Druid, turn into a fucking ancient dragon.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Ancient Red Dragon, fucking DC 23 dexterity saving throw, or take 16 d10 fire damage. Or something stupid like that.
Okay, here's a question for both of you.
Okay.
What would you do if two players, like without even planning, plan to make fucking druids? Like, not even like both circle or anything, like two different circles.
Okay.
What would you do? Would you allow it to happen?
If that's what they want to play, then yeah, I have to allow it, right?
Yeah. No, just asking.
Dude, but
Just
yeah,
asking.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the overall character. Because I always look at it as, are they doing this for just the mechanical benefits, or are they doing this because they actually have a character
Correct.
mind for it?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But I mean, I can see how it can get completely out of hand.
Yeah.
Two druids cast Conjure Woodland Beings. You suddenly have 16 pixies who cast Polymorph on everybody. And it's like, well, fuck. How do I balance for this? Oh, look, a Tarask, have fun. I mean, that's the best thing I can do, right? But I mean,
I definitely have a conversation with the players about, hey guys, please don't make the action economy that much harder for me. Not from a, this is going to make the combat too easy, but this is just going to be so much extra work for everybody.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's just try and keep the game moving a bit. You have so many other abilities that work well here. Can you not?
Mm-hmm.
But then the issue, of course, is Conjure Animals and Conjure Woodland Beings is like the ultimate catch-all for everything. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I conjure a fuck ton of Fae to do shit for me. It's like, I hate that you're doing that, but it's what you can do. I can't stop you, but I can limit you. No pixies for you.
To be fair, the spell does specify for Conjure Animals, I believe, that it's up to the DM's choice what actually appears.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah,
you
of course,
can-
yeah.
You can always just make it one big creature instead of, 100 small ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which, whenever I played a druid, that's what I did anyways, because I think that's cooler, and I know it's easier for me and the DM. So, I'm just summon a big ass bear.
Because in my games, Priscilla, her new favorite summon is just 2 giant vultures. And
those
those
things are
bo-
fucking MVP, dude.
Yeah, those things have crit more than these guys put together, dude. Because they have pack tactics, and they get 2 attacks, Talon and Beak. They've done so many crits and ended combat so quickly. It's just like, she's not even bothering to try anything else. I'm like, yes, vultures, let's go. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
2 giant fuck-off birds can't peck the shit out of you. It's great.
I mean, if you're a player who's wanting to play a druid and you want to make it easier on your DM, a lot of combats, you can just send your summon creatures in first as like shock troops, and that's a good way to just resolve that quickly, and then you guys go in after, so that way it's not 16 different PCs and NPCs in the initiative.
Because like one thing I've done to make my job a little easier is whenever they use Conjure Animals or whatever it is, I let the animals go immediately after them. Even though technically you're supposed to roll initiative for each of them, I just say, fuck it, your Conjure Animals go after you. Immediately after you.
Yeah. Since we're using Fantasy Grounds, it's not as big of a deal for us, because it's just, they're going to roll randomly anyways.
Yeah.
And then it's just whenever. But if you're running, an in-person game, or if you're using a different system, it's usually just easier to have them go straight after anyways, so that way the one player can just keep everything in mind, and it's not a situation of like, okay, now what is this one doing?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
or even like which one was
Which
ape
one was
number, which is ape number 1? No, which one is ape number 3? Fuck, I can't keep. It's a pain in the
Yeah.
ass. Because I remember the first
Hey.
time my druid cast conjure animal, she conjured up 8 poisonous snakes, and I had to like number each of them. Okay, this is 1, this is 2. Whose turn? It's combat slowed down so badly. And it's just like, can we just...
Thankfully, FG helps that way.
Yeah,
as
FG
Steve
does
said, and I've noticed for that, like I just have to throw in the initiative. I mean, throw in the combat and counter, and it's all rolled in. So it's peaceful. Keeping track on it is much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a druid in a game, right? No, we don't.
Nope.
Rakadon.
Oh yeah, I mean in Khan's game. I mean, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rakadon. Yeah.
So far, we don't.
Oh god, Rakadon Gestalt rules. Oh no, I hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck me. Honestly, because of Rakadon, our combats are gonna be fucking cutthroat. Not that they're already not cutthroat. It's gonna get worse. 100%.
Yeah. I know it's dependent on Shiv in a lot of cases with that, because whether or not he uses all of his abilities, because he has a tendency to either forget or just not want to use certain stuff. So,
True.
which honestly, from a balance standpoint, makes it kind of harder for me, because like, well, he can do this, but I don't know if he's going to do this. So,
Well, shit. Suddenly,
Yeah.
we're up against a creature who Rakadon has a perfect counter against. None of us do, and he doesn't do the thing he's supposed to do because he didn't prepare the spell for the day. We're just like, oh, shit.
not even necessarily preparing the spell, but just be like, you can wild shape into this thing and solve this entire problem. Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's another thing. Druids can do so many things.
Yeah.
Your utility is ridiculous. It's hard to keep track. So I would say, for players alone, essentially, before you begin your session, go through your spell list and prepare your correct spells and whatever could be useful. Personally, for what could be up ahead, and it's very important that you pick the correct spells, because sometimes you can pick up a spell which you never use.
Yeah.
Be mindful of that. Think about what you're going to use, and set it up accordingly.
Your beast list, trust me, guys.
Yeah.
It's a bitch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because after a point, you've seen so many creatures, you just got to keep like, what do I turn into now? Especially
Yeah.
as a moon druid, your list has become even longer.
And once you start using, like, once you've gone through a few beasts, filter them out. Don't keep them all. Like, get rid of some unwanted sheets of beasts you're never going to use.
Yeah,
Like,
because by level
just-
9, you can turn into CR3 creatures.
Yeah. So you're always going to be upping your CR list, and yeah, just don't hold on to unwanted sheets is what I'm saying.
Yeah, just be a little
it
careful.
it can get quite crazy. It can go wild.
Absolutely insane. Druids are the best.
Yeah, I'm making a druid next. Fuck, I miss it. No, fuck this. Yeah,
Okay.
I can't.
That's fine. I mean, fuck my sleep. I mean, I don't need to sleep, right?
Next campaign, I know what I'm making.
Yeah, I don't need sleep. Yeah, fuck that.
Whatever we're playing, whichever we're going back into, I don't care. I'm making it through.
Okay, cool.
Circle
Great.
of the Moon, I'm seeing it through, baby.
Okay, fun. Yay. Yay for me. Fucking hell.
Oh, I've got ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun, guys. Like, play one. They're good fun.
Druids, play clerics. At least these two you have to play at least once.
Yeah, at least one.
At least once. Fantastic classes. So many things that you can do. Your utility is out the wazoo. The damage you can do is ridiculous. Just fucking play. The wisdom classes are fucking insane.
They're
Use them.
insane.
Use them.
Yeah.
So I mean that's basically the entire things from
That's the druid.
that's a druid
From
from
the player's handbook.
The player's handbook. The other books have even more broken. Not broken.
Oh.
Actually, nothing breaks the moon.
Nothing breaks the moon. I mean, there are more fun things,
Yeah,
guys.
there's shit ton of things up. Which again, like, if you don't want to turn to an animal, the other subclasses give you options for that as well.
Yeah.
And some of those options are actually pretty fucking cool. So, hope you guys enjoy all that stuff. So Druid's 10 out of 10. Without question.
I think so.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 without question. Super fun, super crazy, potentially broken. Not potentially, they are broken. But again, like we mentioned before, requires a lot of homework. Speak to your DM, because again, certain DMs have certain rules that they will. For example, for me personally, I wouldn't allow the pixie thing because that just breaks everything. Because essentially, how polymorph the spell works is you can turn into any creature which is the same CR as your level. So if you're a level 9 creature, you say you're level 9, and polymorph is cast on you, you can be turned into a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's like what, 124? No, 124. That's like 200 health, I believe, at base. For a T-Rex.
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
It's high.
Yeah, and you have a bite and a tail attack. If you bite somebody and you attack, you grapple them. And then
That
you can
tail has some reach, man.
Yeah, the tail can hit quite hard. So imagine your entire party is turned into a bunch of fucking T-Rexes. And nothing can kill you because Jesus fucking Christ, you're a goddamn T-Rex. Yeah, it's slightly problematic. Like, so the thing
It's
is, like,
ridiculous when you say it.
yeah. So I mean, so as a DM, it's all about making sure that, like Steve said before, because normally what the rules work is the DM chooses what creatures you can summon. So they give you a list of creatures, and you can just go, I roll the dice for what you get.
Yeah.
Some DMs allow you to summon whatever you want, which I'm okay with. But the only thing I would remove is the pixies, because I don't want that shit happening in my game, because it just makes everything pointless.
Just that specific combination really is the problem. So.
Yeah.
Or that you can summon pixies, but they don't have polymorph. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could summon a
cast
chance for
ability.
maybe on a particular summon, you could roll like a percentile die or something to see if you'd actually do summon a pixie who can polymorph.
Oh yeah, say you summon 8 pixies.
Make it a chance.
Yeah, so only 8 pixies.
So you don't take away the mechanic.
Yeah,
you leave it a chance.
Pixies are CR what?
1/4, I want to say.
1/4, yeah. So instead of 8 pixies that can do polymorph, you get 2 pixies who can polymorph.
Yeah.
Potentially. Again, these are ways that DMs can balance
Sometimes
out the
like
things.
you don't get pixies who can polymorph. Like they just look at you and they just show their hands like, eh.
Yeah. But I mean, that's it. Pixies are still powerful creatures.
They're powerful.
As weak
So
as they are.
don't polymorph.
Yeah. As weak as they are in terms of CR, they can do quite a few cool things.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Anything else you guys want to talk about the Druid for? Because you see, in my head, I thought there were a lot more subclasses in the player's handbook. I didn't realize there were just 2. But
I mean, the Druid has quite. I mean, we did end up speaking a lot about them.
Yeah. No, the thing is, like,
It was just 2.
Circle of the Moon, best class, I think, across the board.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
I'm
Both
quite biased to it.
Both mechanically and from a flavor standpoint, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably one of, if not the best classes.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, you can be a Warforged.
That's a 3 for 3, guys. 3
Yeah.
for 3 from all of us.
No, imagine, dude, flavor-wise, as a Warforged, Circle of the Moon, your creatures are metallic.
Yes, that's
Metallic
what I'm
creatures.
making. You
Metallic
said
creatures.
it now.
Yeah. Sure. Heat metal's a thing, so that'll be fun.
Oh, fucking hell. Of course, he already thought of a counter. God damn it.
Obviously,
I
it's
need
my
to find a counter for the counter.
It's my job.
Ah, yes.
As a DM, I have to balance
The
it
ever
out.
back and forth game between player and DM. Yes. Counter for counter.
Yeah, it's a chess game. It's a chess game, 100%.
It's a chess. It's fun.
100%.
It's fun. I love it.
You do cool shit. I can do cool shit too, motherfucker. What's up?
Ah.
But
it's going fun.
yeah, anything else you want to cover with the druids? Anything that we've missed, perhaps?
I think that's the major stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, guys,
Yeah.
this is just purely from the player's handbook. Once we get to Xanathar's and Tasha's, shit gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
some of the other subclasses are kind of nuts too. Like Xanathars has some
Mhm.
really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So yeah, druids are utilities. They've got healing spells on them as well. Pretty impressive.
Mhm.
Pretty powerful. Everyone says Goodberry is awesome. I limit Goodberry in the way it works because it gives you food for 24 hours. Like you eat one, you're not hungry for the rest of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're gonna keep eating them, I'm like, you're gonna get stuffed and you're gonna throw up at some point. So that's how I limit the use. Because everyone's like, yeah, Goodberry, fucking, I just pop 10 of them, I get 10 hit points back. I'm like, yes, and you are completely stuffed. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your consciousness, or you're gonna fall into a food coma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise, then why have a cleric?
Yeah.
Like seriously.
One limitation that I've heard that works well for it also is you just make the mistletoe consumed by the spell, so that way they have to actually go and find more.
Oh, it has a material component, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You pick a bunch of berries and turn them into good berries. That's always good. Always a good option to use. Because like I've always found that Goodberry kind of just makes everything kind of shit. Everyone's like, everybody's like, yeah, pick up Goodberry, it's amazing. Talk to your DM about their rulings on Goodberry.
Yeah, it takes away a large portion of the survival mechanic if you always have the guaranteed rations built in to one of your characters.
Yeah, you never have to eat again. It's like, I mean, you never have to scrounge for food or do hunting. Just Goodberry, you're good for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, meh. I don't like it. It's just it takes away a good portion of what they can do in their downtime. Like what happens now in Curse of Strahd now, my players go hunting. They go looking for bunnies or boar or deer, whatever. Something to help them, feed themselves. Which I'm I mean, yeah, make a survival check. Go for it. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
What else? Is there anything else you want to cover?
I think that's about it.
Yeah. Again,
Play a druid. Play a
Yeah.
druid today.
yeah. No, again, like Steve mentioned also, like the point is, tier 4 play is extremely rare. Your chances of you getting to level 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I don't think any normal player or DM has a game ready to go that long. So as much as you'd like to turn into an ancient dragon at level 20, that'll be a one-shot kind of thing. Not really
Usually.
a campaign. Yeah. But then, I mean, if you ever have a battle royale or a free-for-all, if there's a druid, they're probably gonna win. Because
Yeah.
they can turn into a fucking dragon. Unless there's, of course, a cleric and, of course, a wizard, then it's free-for-all at that point.
Yeah.
Then somebody's... I mean, so if there's a cleric, a druid, and a goddamn wizard, it's...
Someone's getting plane shifted.
Yeah.
Who's gonna pull that trigger first?
No, I mean,
Ooh,
someone's
that
getting plane shifted.
initiative roll is gonna be so intense.
So intense. So it's basically going to be someone's going to get plane shifted, someone's going to get wished out of existence, other one's going to get divine intervention into death.
Yeah.
I don't know if they let you use divine intervention in a battle royale, because I feel like your god would be like, nah, dude, this is on you.
Unless you are so devout in your ability and your god is a vengeful god, then go for it. Dude. Depends on who your deity is.
That's also true.
I want his soul. Have it. Yoink. Thank you. Dead wizard. But yeah, no, I mean, just trying to, again, Wild Shape is free. It's not a spell, so it can't be counterspelled.
Yeah.
Fucking have fun. I'm a dragon now. Burn or poison or lightning, whatever you want, just go for it. Have fun with it. And now with Fizbins coming out, with Fizbins
Oof.
Guide to Dragons,
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
ooh, some of those dragon options are fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, found a few I really like.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff because they brought back gemstone dragons and metallic dragons.
Yeah.
Some pretty cool stuff.
That's really cool.
I picked it up for Fantasy Grounds. I need to read through it.
Oh, it's out for FG already?
Yes.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it came out
I'll pick it up.
no. Part of me wishes I'd made a Dragonborn because I love my favorite race. It's my favorite race. I'm sorry. I love
Yeah.
Dragonborn. They're so cool.
That's not too
Yeah.
late.
if I ever get to play again in someone else's games, I think I've become a forever DM, which is great. But yeah, again, like I was saying, guys, any questions you guys have? Again, remember, chat is open. We do see chat. If you have questions regarding anything that we're talking about today, or questions relating to D&D, feel free to ask. The three of us are always willing to answer any and all questions. You can hit both Con and I up on Instagram at House of Grim for me, at Conaboy_24 for Con on Instagram. As also, you can follow me here on my channel, on my Twitch channel at House of Grim, or of course you can follow Conrad on his Twitch channel, which is at Conaboy24. The artwork you see is done for us there is done by our amazing artist friend Priscilla Dillon. Hit her up at Prissy Dilly on Instagram for any work that you would like done, character art, all other good stuff. Anything you wish for artwork, talk to her and go from there. Steve doesn't use social media, so there's no way to contact him. I apologize.
I'm an old man.
Shut up. We're pretty much the same age. What are you on about?
We are old men.
This is true.
Sorry to break that news to you.
Yeah, we're old.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. Not a day goes by where Conrad doesn't remind me I'm an old man. Because everything hurts when I wake up now. Next week, I'm not sure what we're going to cover. Easy job, jump to the fighter. But if we come up something else, we'll figure it out. But the fighter class is also an amazing class. Any beginner players playing a fighter, it might sound basic, but they are fucking sick. Fighters are amazing, and you'll see why when we get to it. So we'll probably do the fighter next week. If not, we'll come up with something else and we'll do something else. But apart from that, that is the Druid. Anything else you guys want to plug before we go? Oh, right, I forgot. Normally, every Saturday is when I play my games of D&D along with Conrad. Conrad runs his game Descent into Avernus in the afternoons tomorrow. But tomorrow we won't be playing because he has a gig he has to go to and perform at. And because he won't be available and a few other players aren't available, I can't run my campaign tomorrow either. However, 11:30 p.m. my time, which is GMT plus 5:30, is when we're running Steve's game, where we hope we won't die, because last time we left off, we were being rushed by a bunch of Myconid zombies, which is about 50 of them.
Yay.
So GG to us, I guess. And tune in to my stream for that. I'll probably be streaming throughout the day regardless, so drop by whenever you wish, and of course tune in for the game if you're interested in D&D. Anything else we need to plug? I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's everything. Alright, well, thank you guys all so much for watching. Steve, thank you for coming on board again. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
And like I was saying, whenever Steve's available, he'll try and drop by and be part of be part of the podcast. And like I was saying, he is smarter than the both of us put together. He knows he has more knowledge than we do.
Oh yeah.
So any questions you guys have in chat, feel free to ask. If we can't answer it, Steve most probably can. And that's pretty much everything we have for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Once again, follow me on Instagram, where I usually post up, or Conrad on Instagram, where we post up what our topic of conversation is going to be. And that's everything we're going to talk about. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you then. So from us to you guys, till then, roll for initiative, and we'll see you then. Peace out, guys.